and this is all about the container. This all about the container, and under the container there is something called as a Docker. There are a lot of containers that are developed by different sorts of a company, but Docker is one of them. And Docker is a container platform that helps you to test, build and deploy your application. And how the container actually works, we have given some sort of idea, like your application is running, your application requires some system libraries, and it requires some of the binary files, system binary files to run the application, and if there is an additional requirement it will take from the virtual machine. But how actually it works, right? For that I will take a very simple example. See, you want to have some sushi, authentic Japanese sushi, and whatever you are preparing in your local area, it is not that authentic. The fish is not up, it is not to that mark, and the rice is not to that mark, and there is nothing that is at to mark. Therefore you call your friend who is living in Japan, and you tell him that please give me all the list of the things that are required, or you pack all the things in some sort of a fridge. See, I will take an example. What you tell him, see, this is the fridge, onto which you tell him that you pack everything that is required. See, I'll just change the color. You tell him that this you pack, this is a small refrigerator, that is small refrigerator, onto which you tell that, see, you pack every food, authentic Japanese food that is over there, into this fridge, and it will take around 14 hours to reach, like take that fridge from Japan to India through a plane. And what you do, you provide him a container, or you provide him a small fridge. He will provide you a small fridge onto which there is a fish, and onto which there is authentic Japanese rice, sticky rice, and onto which there is some sort of algae that is used in that food, and the authentic spices from the Japan. And you pack these all things into the fridge, small fridge. And apart from that, we'll provide a note. He will provide a note how to prepare those all things. He will provide a note. I will just change the color. Okay, this is the note. Okay, we come across this. This is the note that he is providing. Notes to prepare sushi. Notes to prepare the sushi. Okay. He is providing some notes to prepare the sushi, and apart from that, you have provided all the ingredients over here. Okay. Ingredients. See, what are these ingredients? These ingredients are nothing but your files, the Python file, the pip file, and the packages, modules that you are providing. And what are these nodes? Nodes are nothing but your Docker file, and you pack these both the things into a container. You pack both the things into the container, and this is Docker file, and these are the libraries that it is going to install, and both the things together is termed as an image. When you use Docker build, it is going to create a image out of it, and that image is some sort of a box that you are carrying here and there. This is the box now you have created, and you can just ship it from Japan to India. And in the India, you will unpack it, and image is now is getting converted into a container, a runnable container that runs everywhere. And using that box, we'll open that box, and now he will prepare everything. And this is how the Docker works. In simple term, I will just explain you that how the things goes. This is your Docker file. Now only I have shown you how the things work. This is your Docker file or some sort of nodes, that along with that there are files that you have created. And this Docker file, when it is converted, when it is built, it is converted into some packaged box that is termed as a Docker image. And this is the Docker image. And after the Docker image, now this Docker image, when you run it, it is converted into a container, Docker container. And this container, to start from this to this, you require something called as docker build command. Docker build to convert Docker file into Docker image, to convert Docker image into a container or into a file that is runnable, or to the previous file. Unpacking, in simple term, unpacking, you use docker run. You run Docker file using the Docker build, you get Docker image. You run the Docker image using Docker run, you will get container. This is the flow of how the Docker works. And we'll just show you the architecture of the Docker, how the Docker works. This is the Docker container. This is the container. Okay, this is the container. Here what, there are three parts. The first, this is the first part, and this is the second part, and this is the third part. I will change the colors to white now. These are the three parts of the Docker, and in the first part you have the orchestrator. What is the orchestrator? It is the one that differentiates you from the virtual machines. It will help you to run on top of the virtual machine, and this is directly connected over there. This is the run time. And here you have the Docker engine. This is the Docker engine. And what exactly these all things does is that, here I'll just make a note of it. The first thing, here we have the engine. First of all, I will go with the runtime. What exactly runtime contains? The runtime contains two commands, runc and container d. Runc and container d. And here, wait a second, runc and container d. And what exactly runc does? Runc starts and stops your container. Starts and stops your container. And apart from that, it is a low level in Docker, and it is connected with OS, right? Okay, it is connected with the operating system. This is the runc, and the container d, it updates, upgrades, starts and stops your container. your container. The runtime has two commands, runc and containerd. Runc starts, stops your container, creates, updates, deploy container. And this is a low level in the Docker. It is connected with the operating system. Containerd updates, upgrades, deploy your container, and there are some changes that it will also delete your container. These are the operations of the run time, and after which we have, I will take orchestrator. I will explain about the engine further. Orchestrator, it is connected, actually the main task of this thing is to start a Docker and stops. Means it will start on top of virtual machine. Inside, the runtime will create everything, like it will maintain, it will create under whatever things are required, it will create, and inside a container, orchestrator will make a proper logic to make a Docker on top of virtual machine. This is the task of orchestrator. You can consider it as a Docker swarm, or you can consider it as a Kubernetes that will manage, that is managing the all the containers. And here we have the Atlas engine. For engine, there is separate architecture. I will just draw over here, and the first one is Docker daemon. This is the actual file that is doing everything in the Docker daemon is one that is containerizing your application, creating the images and pulling those images out of the Docker Hub. Docker Hub is some sort of a repository, or it is a registry onto which a lot of people have deployed their images onto there, and you can just pull all the images and you can run in your local system. And Docker daemon does all those things. It create, upgrades, updates, everything. And here we have the REST API, application programming interface, response and request managing thing. And we have the CLI, the Docker CLI. What exactly Docker CLI does? Whatever you write in the command interface, right? Like, hey Docker, create this container. Hey Docker, convert this container into an image. Hey Docker, convert this image back to a container. These all the things are the commands, and Docker CLI does these all things. And when you write, hey Docker, build this image, that is that request will go through the REST API. He is requesting to create to build an image. It will go into the Docker daemon, and Docker daemon does all these things. It will run the Docker file, and it will create a image out of it, and it will give response back to the REST to the CLI using the REST API. And you can call out the images. See, I want images, I want to pull this, I want to push this, and these all things are done by the Docker daemon. And this is the architecture of the Docker.